This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
That's right, we are your host, and it's our job to bring you all the latest happenings in Georgia agriculture. Hi everybody, so glad you could join us for this week's edition of the Farm Monitor. I am Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. Straight ahead, travel with us to Perry, Georgia, for the annual Georgia Cattlemen's Conference. Hear for yourself what members are doing to meet the increasing demand of quality local beef.
Speaking of demands, there's also a demand for fresh, locally grown products in Metro Atlanta, and this community leader has found a possible solution. Also on the rundown.
Hey everybody, Ranger Nick coming up on the show. We're talking precision ag and John Deere technology, and I'm hanging out in this beautiful machine, learning how smart this thing is to keep things valid and consistent out in the fields. That and so much more starts right now on the Farm Monitor.
Well, it's that time of year again, time for the Georgia Cattlemen's Association's annual convention and trade show. Now in its 57th year, the convention is a great way for producers all over the state to come together and learn about the latest and greatest equipment, but also learn about what they may be facing in the upcoming year. John Holcomb reports.
Just like in past years, the annual Georgia Cattlemen's Association's convention was a big hit as producers from all over the state of Georgia come together. It's a 3-day event that gives producers the chance to learn about new technology and learn about what's happening in the Georgia beef industry.
Our mission is to unite cattlemen and to bring lifeblood to the industry. So we strive to do things through legislation, through education, to make the industry more profitable for beef cattle producers in the state of Georgia. So we host events like this convention this weekend where we can offer education, where we can offer futuristic thinking, things that are maybe coming down the line in the next few years that people need to be thinking about.
The theme of this year's convention was Georgia Grown, which focused on marketing and selling beef that's grown, well, here in Georgia.
A lot of times we get questions from producers that may be interested in producing a local beef product. And then I also get calls on a regular basis about consumers wanting a local beef. So we've kind of tailored our convention this year towards the educational side of if you want to produce beef that goes direct to consumers, this is how you do it. These are the regulations, these are the opportunities, and these are the challenges. So it's been a great conversation that we've had. It's something that we're really proud of and will be continuing as we move forward throughout the rest of the year.
The importance of this event can't be expressed enough, as it allows producers to be exposed to everything they would need to have a successful operation all in one place. It even lets them learn from industry leaders in their Cattlemen's College.
It's the largest trade show specific to the cattle industry where you can come out and get all the equipment and implements that you may need for your operation. It's a great opportunity to learn. There's a lot of producer education that goes on so that everyone knows what's going on in the cattle industry so we can all move forward together.
Aside from getting to see the latest in equipment, it is also a learning opportunity for those in attendance as they get to hear about what challenges the beef industry is facing. One of the bigger challenges is making sure consumers are educated about the beef industry and not misled.
They don't really understand what it is that we do, and they don't understand that we here in the United States provide the cheapest, most wholesome, nutritious product as far as food and protein that there is in the world. Another
challenge is one that most sectors of the ag world are facing, and that is the challenge of having an aging workforce. It's something that the GCA is focusing on as they work to help producers that are just entering the business, which is something that can be difficult to do.
The average farmer in the United States is well over 60 years old now, so we're really trying to work with younger producers, getting them the footing that they need to be successful in ag, because it's a very expensive industry to get into. Equipment's very expensive. You know, all the capital investments that you have to make are extremely hard to come by unless someone leaves it to you in their will, or you are born into a generational type family. Farms.
Reporting from the Georgia Cattlemen's Association's annual convention in Perry for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Thank you, John. Since 1990, some of the top agribusiness leaders from 10 different states have competed to be named the Sun Belt Expo Southeastern Farmer of the Year. And this year, the state of Georgia will be represented by James Vaughn of Monroe County, who runs a successful cattle, hay, and timber operation.
I'm James Vaughn, and I'm owner and operator of Vaughn Farms. Operated along with my wife and sons. We have about 400 full-blood Angus mother cows and the calves that go with them. And we background those calves and ship them into Iowa, where they ultimately go into a European export trade after they're fattened in southwest Iowa. We also have a commercial hay business. We farm about 240 acres of sprig Bermuda grass and market high-quality Bermuda grass in small bales to horse producers, mostly wholesale. And we also have commercial timberland tracts that some are plantations and some are natural stands. The natural stands are mostly sold for lumber and building products, and the planted stands are mostly on short rotations, which are sold for pulp and increasingly for energy products. I grew up on the farm just a couple hundred yards from where we're standing, and was raised helping with the cattle and baling hay. We did a lot of custom hay baling when I was a teenager for friends and family. My father started this farm. He moved here in 1932 and actually acquired some of the first land in 1942. We've continually expanded since that time, where today we're farming, I think his initial acquisition was 108 acres, and today on this place we're farming a little better than 1,200 acres. We have embraced technology every way, from the bundles of hay that we make that avoid the hand labor to the record keeping for the cattle. Since 1999, every time we've touched a cow with a medical treatment or anything, it's in my computer. We have electronic EIDs in all the cattle, especially the feedlot cattle that get shipped to Iowa. They're tracked, a spreadsheet goes with them with their individual Georgia data, and once they're harvested, that data, the harvest data, the size of the ribeye muscle, the grade and yield, all the particulars are populated in that spreadsheet and sent back to us to help us continually improve. The secret to success is like any farm, it's hard work and perseverance, and staying with it day after day. But my father blessed us with a really fine herd of Angus cattle, and we hope we've improved them. And he also blessed us with some pasture land that had been well managed and designed to operate well. And we've built on those ideas and expanded from them. I just enjoyed the rhythm of it and the order. The good Lord has put an order into nature, and if you pay attention to it, it's a very calming, relaxing thing. My other job, commercial litigation, not too calm, and so I like to be able to come out and just look at the cattle and the farms and the work, and it's just very satisfying.
Meeting the demand for fresh, locally grown food in an urban restaurant setting. It was the vision of Atlanta's Chuck Meadows, and now that vision has come to fruition. A profile of Jim Adams' farm and table when the Monitor continues.
I'm Chris Shimon. I'm the director at the Center of Innovation for Agribusiness. Our center is part of 6 centers within the Georgia Department of Economic Development. So you can think of the Centers of Innovation program as being technical advisors for economic development. So we get involved in economic development projects that are agricultural related when there's some technical assistance needed. Our sweet spot though is really working with small and medium-sized agribusinesses to help them compete and grow their business, and even if they want to export, compete globally. One thing we do that we're kind of known for is our small food processing and helping small food businesses, whether that's a producer that's looking to make his own jams or jellies or barbecue sauce. So one of the most exciting things about my job is actually working with younger, innovative producers. So innovation's in our title, and the way we define innovation is just looking at something different. So it's always nice to sit down with a producer saying, We want to look at things different. We want to try to introduce some new crops, do a new crop mix, add value to our product. Again, that's kind of our sweet spot, is helping producers add value to their product. So we tend to work with a lot of younger producers, those that are innovative, that are kind of thinking outside the box. The Center of Innovation for Agribusiness is located at the UGA Tifton campus, and that gives us a unique ability to just walk down the hall when we have a question about a project where we can ask, some world-renowned researchers. And all the different centers of innovation are actually scattered out around the state, and we're co-located at the university that is the primary research engine for that industry.
On March 10th, Jim Adams Farm and Table officially opened its doors for business. Located in Metro Atlanta, its owner, Chuck Meadows, realized the growing demand for fresh, locally grown produce in the urban restaurant and retail sectors. Meadows says Jim Adams will eventually meet this demand by producing high-quality, all-natural produce within the urban footprint. He recently sat down with a monitor to share his vision.
Jim Adams is a farm first, right? So we're a farm business. So we're under construction on our own urban farm in Atlanta's Pittsburgh neighborhood. So on University Avenue, just south of Turner Field, where the Braves used to play, we are building out a farm. We'll be growing vegetables, herbs, and cut flowers. We'll also have several beehives as well. As a matter of fact, the bees are already there. So we're building out there, and the idea is for all of that produce that we grow there to move through this storefront. So we're here at Jim Adams Farm and Table, where we have a counter service kitchen. We've got a market that sells produce and locally sourced small batch goods. And right now we're sourcing from other local farmers, but once our farm gets built out, we'll be selling good Jim Adams grown produce here in the storefront as well. Jim Adams, who we named the business after, was my great uncle, and he was a farmer in Greene County. So he bought about 90 acres in Greene County and was a very successful farmer there. And on that same land where he farmed, his grandson, Willie Adams, is still farming. So that land sits at the end of Jim Adams Road. The county actually named the road after him. Interestingly enough, Willie had torn down several of his very large chicken coops, but left the concrete foundations in place. And he put raised beds on those concrete foundations and was growing in hoop houses, sitting on concrete. And he explained to me how that method with the raised beds and the hoop houses, the plastic covering those beds, it conserved water, allowed him to better manage the soil, cut down on pests, and really allowed for a higher yield and a more productive and efficient growth, more sustainable as well. And so the simple question I put to him was, if you're growing crops on concrete out here in Greene County, why couldn't we do the same thing in Atlanta, where there is a growing demand for locally sourced, healthy food, and there's a problem of accessing that locally sourced healthy food. So he felt we definitely could, and he agreed to help us figure out how. And that's when we began working on a business model with really at its core commercial urban farming. And from the very start, there was a retail component to that farm in order to improve financial sustainability, right? So if you've got your own storefront where you can sell stuff at retail instead of wholesale, and you can do prepared foods, it gives you an opportunity to improve your margins, and that's really what that's the principle that this business is based on. We really wanted to have a community garden component to our business as well. So the raised beds, we built 12 right outside the storefront here at Jim Adams Farm and Table, and offered them up to the community. So we made an announcement once we got them built, and in a very short amount of time, all the beds were taken. So there's a yoga studio around the corner from here that's going to be growing in one of the beds. A school, an elementary school, that's going to be growing as well. A couple of the neighborhood associations have taken a bed, a couple of churches. So folks were really looking for and very appreciative of the opportunity just to get out and grow stuff. And so they'll be providing volunteers. We'll be helping them with a little bit of expertise and guidance, but they'll be growing in those beds, and what they grow there will be theirs. We really want to give folks that gardening experience, that ability to grow your own food and understanding how to manage the soil and how to plant and harvest. And once they've got stuff that's coming out of the ground, if they want to come in and have us chop it up into a salad and kind of celebrate that first harvest, that's what we'll do. It was a good feeling, and it's still a good feeling to be so warmly received and have folks show such an amount of enthusiasm for this concept. But I think people understand now that what you eat is very important. I mean, that sounds like an understatement, but I think in certain ways our local food economy is broken. So Georgia is an agriculture-intense state. But we in the metro Atlanta region still import 80% of our produce in, right? And so there's something that doesn't quite, seem right about that model. And so we want, more produce that's grown here locally to be consumed here locally. So folks understand that, they want that local food, they can taste the difference, it's better for you. We make sure that even in our kitchen, we don't use preservatives or additives. Everything's natural, everything's made from scratch. Folks can taste that difference, and I think they appreciate it, what it means, not only for their palate, but also for their health.
And folks, let me tell you, their chicken salad sandwich is out of this world. Actually, they should really call it a chicken breast salad sandwich. I mean, huge chunks of chicken, but hey, don't take my word for it. Check them out online or in person. All the info you need is right there on the screen. You can also find them on Facebook.
Hey everybody, Ranger Nick coming up. Are you tired of doing all the work yourself and trying to remember all the things that are going on in your field? This tractor has a memory and can remember the stuff for you. I got the details coming up.
What drew me to University of Georgia and just the ag schools, I think they have a great program.
My favorite class was probably one I took this semester with Dorfman. I think it was 4760. We learned a lot just how food is, carried from the farm, or wherever to the plate.
Well, I love all the ag school teachers. They're all great.
My favorite class so far in the College of Ag has been ag policy, I guess.
I actually tweet all my professors. It's funny.
What I enjoyed most of my time at the College of Ag was probably the connections and the people I've met. A lot of great people work there now in Conner Hall.
Everyone is great. All the people are great.
It's somewhere that you can feel comfortable.
My favorite memory here was probably winning the SEC championship.
I don't know, probably the UGA South Carolina game and how awesome that game was.
I'd recommend College of Ag simply because it's small classes.
I would definitely recommend the College of Ag to other students.
I'd recommend the College of Ag just because it's like small classrooms, you get to know professors and everyone around, definitely interactive, and College of Ag can help you in any career you want to take in life, and it's very helpful and essential.
Finally this week, 2018 marks the 100-year anniversary for John Deere tractors, and as you know, the technology has come a long way since that very first tractor rolled off the assembly line.
And to celebrate this occasion, Ranger Nick headed to Tipton, Georgia, where he got a first-hand look at one of John Deere's latest and greatest creations.
We live in a smart technology-dominated world. I've got my smartphone. Some of you have smart watches, iPads, things. All this technology helps us think and remember things better. Well, this machine and this individual are a couple of smart things as well. This is Carlton Self. Carlton, good to see you again. Carlton is the territory manager for John Deere and a former student of mine. Sure appreciate you putting up with me 6 or 7 years ago. Carlton is introducing us to some of the dealers down here in South Georgia that work with this piece of equipment to show us how smart this thing really is. Now, Carlton, what about this machine is helping farmers here in South Georgia and around the world being so smart?
Absolutely. We're going to talk about some of the building blocks of precision ag technologies, and they're things that are going to bring some real benefits back to our customers. So efficiency, cost savings, and just an overall better operator experience helps them determine some things about their farm.
And this thing is so smart. I'm going to get a chance to get up in the cab and do some driving around and see this. You are not going to believe what it can do and what it can remember. So let's hop in and check that out next. Okay, so I'm sitting inside the cab of this beautiful machine. Michael Swales is with me, as they call you, Swales. Let's just say I just purchased this thing. Brand new piece of equipment. I'm sitting out here in my field. What do I do to learn how to program this tractor to work for me?
Well, Nick, basically what you'll do is you'll go in and you'll add your client, your farm, and your field, and set your AB line, and it can work off the curve, it can work off a straight AB line. If you know your latitude, longitude, and heading, everything,
And that's all on that computer screen right there. I'm just going to tell it. All right, so what if I'm looking out here at my field and I know, you know, I'm an animal lover. If there's a gopher tortoise burrow out in that field, can I tell the tractor before it starts that it's there so it doesn't run over it?
You can set flags and boundaries, and you can, you know, to let you know to stay away from certain areas or to, you know, prevent, you know, damage to those areas.
Interesting. Could be a wetland, could be a boundary on the side there, a rock, a killdeer nest. Incredible. Pretty excellent idea to do that with those turtles.
Yes.
Thanks, man.
Yes.
All right, so Alan Martin with Flint Ag and Turf has hopped up in the cab with me. Alan, what's next?
All right, so now that we've set up our guidance line and we've got our equipment set up, our next important thing that we need to do is set up our documentation to tell this machine exactly what it is that we're out here in the field doing. Okay. So in this particular instance, we're going to set it up as if we are planting.
Okay.
So I've got my crop type in here as corn. I just put in a sample variety for corn 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a seeding rate. So we'll accept this information, and then once we get to the field, you know, we've got everything set up and we set that implement down, it's going to start recording, it's going to start counting our acreage, it's going to start counting our seeding rates, all of that information. And then whenever we finish this field, we know that we've got the accurate data that we need, and we can move on to the next operation after that.
Interesting. Smart little tractor here. Okay, so all of that cool data that we've just been talking about and entering has to go somewhere. Dusty Englewood Lassiter, what are we looking at here?
So this here is our modular telematics gateway. It's actually essentially a USB drive that stores all the data and acts as a cell phone modem so that it can broadcast the information that's collected from the tractor and the GPS system up to the to satellites so that we can retrieve all that information on the operations center.
This is just incredible. I have a hard enough time finding my way to work every day, and this tractor knows way more than I do. It's incredible. So the final pieces of the puzzle, we got all that data saved onto that hard drive, and I'm joined by Lynn Perkins and Russ Wordley. Russ, we're going to come back to you in a second. Lynn, that data goes onto that hard drive, then what?
John Deere's done a good job of creating a medium, and that medium's called Operations Center. You set that Operations Center up yourself. You set the allowances, the parameters for who you share your data with or who you utilize, and at that point you can push that data to whoever you feel the need to send it to.
Now, that could include my wife, that could include my ag agent. I want to involve that ag and natural resource agent in Georgia to help troubleshoot, right?
That's correct, that's correct. And make agronomic decisions based off that data.
I don't have to drive it to him. He can just get access to it, or she.
Just sitting at the computer at the desk.
Incredible. It's all well and good, but knowing me, I would mess something up with that technology, something would go wrong, and Russ would come along. Russ, how could you help me with that mess up?
Well, in the past, you would call the service department if your tractor went down. But what if I told you that that tractor will call the service department for you?
Really? Really?
Yeah, so using that MTG you talked about earlier, we have the ability to pull trouble codes straight from the machine, share it with your service department, share it with you as the grower, share it with whoever you need on the farm to know. Maybe it's just an air filter restriction. Maybe you got an air filter at the shop you need to put on. Go ahead and get you back up and running, because at the end of the day, it's all about that uptime.
And I don't have to leave my farm. I mean, that is just incredible to think about. You're probably going to see a tractor hosting the show next month because it's way smarter than I am. Guys, thanks so much for being out here with me today, and all the friends that were with us today. This was a great time. I hope you all learned a lot at home, and it opened your minds to what some of these pieces of equipment can do. You know what to do. When you're online, check out the Farm Monitor Facebook page, and while you're on there, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page and check that out. We do those Friday Fly Days every Friday. Check us out online, and until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you, as always, that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Thanks so much for joining me from South Georgia. We'll look forward to seeing you right back here again next month. See ya.
Nick, great job as always. Thanks so much. That is going to do it for this week.
Here's a reminder for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm. Be sure you check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming and with us at the show.
Take care, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Farm Monitor.
As always, have a great week.